In the middle of a nationally televised showdown, Donald Trump sneered at Barack Obama from the podium, mocking his calm demeanor and ripping into his legacy with vicious jabs, only for Obama to stand there with a quiet, devastating smile before dropping the ultimate bomb that shattered the Trump empire in front of the entire world. Barron Trump wasn't Melania's son at all. He was Ivanka's child. This wasn't just any event. It was a live, nationally televised town hall. America Forward, a rare joint appearance where former President Barack Obama and current President Donald Trump were supposed to discuss the future of the country in front of thousands of voters. The cameras flashed like crazy as Donald Trump stepped onto the red carpet with his family right behind him. Melania looked flawless in a sleek black gown, smiling that practiced smile she always wore in public. Ivanka walked beside her, glowing and confident, while young Barron trailed a few steps back, tall for his age even then. The crowd went wild, chanting Trump's name and snapping pictures. For a second, it felt like the whole world was watching the perfect American family. Rich, powerful, untouchable. Trump raised his fist in that signature way, grinning wide. "Family first," he shouted, and everyone ate it up. For the first few minutes, Trump stuck to the usual stuff, economy, borders, winning, but then his tone turned nasty. He pointed straight at Barack Obama sitting in the front row and unloaded. "Obama was weak. He never stood up for this country. I don't even know why this guy was invited here tonight. Total disaster." The crowd gasped. Trump kept going, voice getting louder, calling Obama soft, ineffective, a failure. The tension in the room shot up instantly. Everyone could feel it. This wasn't just politics anymore, it was personal. Obama sat there completely still, no anger on his face, just calm. When Trump finally paused for breath, Obama stood up slowly and walked toward the stage. The whole place went dead quiet. He stepped up, adjusted the mic with zero rush, and looked Trump right in the eyes. "Before you talk about leadership, Donald," Obama said in that steady, clear voice, "let's talk about your family." Trump let out a short laugh, trying to look unbothered. "Oh, here we go," he said, reaching for the mic like he wanted to cut Obama off. "You're not going to lecture me about family." Obama didn't raise his voice. He simply nodded to the control booth. A giant screen behind them lit up with a photo. It was Ivanka at 24. Slim, runway-ready in one picture, then a later shot from the same year showing clear changes in her body. The audience murmured loudly. Trump's face tightened. "Fake news!" he shouted, lunging forward and trying to grab the microphone from Obama's hand. "That's photoshopped. You're a liar." Security moved in fast, but Obama stayed calm, holding the mic steady. "Actually, Donald, let's hear from someone who was there," Obama said. He signaled again. A big video feed appeared on the screen. An older man in a white coat sitting in what looked like a home office. The caption read, "Dr. Richard Harlan, former OB-GYN." The doctor looked straight into the camera and spoke clearly. "I delivered Ivanka Trump's baby under a false name in a private facility. It was March 2006. She was 24 years old. The birth certificate was handled quietly. I was paid well to keep it secret." Gasps exploded across the arena. People stood up in shock. Trump's face turned red. He slammed his hand on the podium. "This is a witch hunt. Total hoax." Trump leaned into the mic, voice booming. "Barron is my son with Melania. Everyone knows that. You're just jealous and desperate." The crowd was split. Some cheering for Trump, others whispering in disbelief. Obama didn't get angry. He simply smiled a small, confident smile and looked straight at the cameras. "We have more evidence coming, Donald. A lot more." The arena was on the edge of chaos. Trump looked furious, pointing at Obama, but he seemed like he was losing control of the room. Obama stood tall at the podium, calm as ever, while the arena buzzed with nervous energy. He clicked a remote and the big screen lit up with a clean timeline. "Let's look at the facts," he said. June 2005. Ivanka Trump is everywhere. modeling, smiling on magazine covers. Then suddenly, in late July, she vanishes from public view for 6 straight months. No events, no photos, nothing. Trump tells everyone she's just taking a break. Fast forward to March 20th, 2006. A private birth under a fake name at a small clinic outside New York. 3 months later, in June 2006, Melania appears at a public event holding baby Barron, smiling like the proud new mother. The dates line up perfectly. The disappearances, the timing, the sudden miracle baby, it all fits. The crowd was dead silent, hanging on every word. Phones were already out, people recording the screen. Trump gripped the side of the podium, knuckles white, muttering under his breath. Then the huge screen switched to a live video call. Ivanka's face appeared, eyes red and puffy, calling from what looked like a dimly lit hotel room somewhere far away. The arena exploded in gasps. Ivanka was crying, wiping her face. At first she tried to deny it. "This is all lies," she said, voice cracking. "Barron is my brother." But then something broke inside her. She looked straight at Trump and screamed, "You forced me, Dad? You told me if I didn't hide it, you'd cut me off completely. No money, no business, nothing. You said the family name would be ruined." Her voice echoed through the arena. Trump's face went ghost white. He lunged toward the control table, yelling, "Cut the feed! Shut it off right now!" But the call kept going. Ivanka was sobbing harder. "I was 24. I was scared. You made me do this." The entire place froze. Security looked confused about what to do. Trump kept waving his arms, trying to kill the video, but it was too late. Millions were watching live. Melania suddenly stood up from her VIP seat in the front row. Every eye turned to her. She walked slowly up the steps to the stage, her usual elegant posture gone. Her hands were shaking. She took the mic from Obama with trembling fingers and spoke in a quiet, broken voice that still carried through the whole arena. "I agreed to play along for the family," she said. "I let the world think Barron was mine because Donald told me it was the only way to protect everything we built." The room went completely still. You could hear people breathing. No one dared speak. Melania looked at Trump with tired, hurt eyes. "I was tired of pretending." Before anyone could react, Obama held up a thick folder. "This is the first real proof," he said. He pulled out an old hospital record, still sealed with official stamps from 2006. The screen zoomed in close so everyone could see it clearly. The name Ivanka Trump was listed as the mother. Barron's footprints, blood type, and birth details were all there in black and white. The father line had Donald J. Trump's signature at the bottom. Trump snapped. He charged across the stage like a bull, reaching wildly for the paper. "Give me that," he roared. His foot caught on a cable and he nearly fell face first, grabbing the podium at the last second to stay upright. The arena erupted in shouts and gasps. Obama simply stepped back, holding the document high enough for the cameras. Trump's face was twisted with rage and panic as he tried to snatch it again. Obama didn't rush. He held the folder steady under the bright stage lights and spoke clearly into the microphone so every person in the arena and everyone watching at home could hear. "This is the most important document of all," he said. The giant screen behind him zoomed in tight on the old 2006 paternity record. Ivanka Trump's name was printed as the biological mother. Barron's full birth details, blood type, and hospital stamps were right there. And at the very bottom, in clear black ink, was Donald J. Trump's own signature confirming the truth. The arena fell into a heavy silence for a few seconds, then burst into loud gasps and shocked whispers. Phones lit up everywhere as people recorded the screen. Trump's face turned pale. The confident smirk he always wore had completely vanished, replaced by pure panic in his eyes. Before Trump could say a word, the side door from backstage opened. Barron Trump, now a tall, serious young man in a dark suit, walked onto the stage with steady steps. The entire crowd erupted. Some people jumped to their feet yelling, others screamed in disbelief, and a wave of camera flashes lit up the arena like fireworks. Barron ignored the chaos. He stepped right up to the microphone, looked straight out at the audience, and spoke in a cold, calm voice that cut through the noise. "I've known the truth since I was 16 years old," he said. "Melania is not my mother. Ivanka is my real mother. I found the papers hidden in my father's office years ago. I've been carrying this secret my whole life, pretending everything was normal. But I'm done pretending tonight." The arena exploded even louder. People were shouting, some cheering Barron's courage, others booing in disbelief. The noise was so loud the stage floor seemed to shake. Trump looked completely broken. His legs buckled and he dropped heavily to his knees right there in front of the whole country. The powerful man who had always stood tall and loud was now on his knees, grabbing Barron's hand with both of his trembling hands. Tears welled up in his eyes as he begged in a cracked voice, "Barron, please, you're my son. You're my boy. Don't do this to your father. We're family, son. Family first, remember?" His voice shook with real desperation. Barron slowly pulled his hand away and shook his head. Without saying anything, he raised his phone and held the screen toward the main camera. The message from years ago appeared huge on the big screen for everyone to see. "Keep this secret or we lose everything. The business, the name, the money, all of it. Do what I say, Ivanka, or it's over." The crowd went wild again. Melania stepped forward from the side of the stage, walking right up next to Trump. She looked straight into the cameras with tired but strong eyes, years of hidden pain finally coming out. Her voice was quiet at first, but grew firmer as she spoke. "You used your own daughter to keep the Trump bloodline going," she said directly to Trump. "You made me pretend to be Barron's mother so the world wouldn't ask questions. I smiled in every photo. I held him for every camera. I lied for this family for almost 20 years. I was nothing but an actress in your perfect show." Trump stayed on his knees, looking up at her with a broken, defeated face. He tried to speak, but no words came out. On the giant screen, Ivanka's live video call was still connected. She was crying hard, tears streaming down her face, shoulders shaking as she covered her mouth. "Dad, how could you do this to us?" she sobbed loudly. "I was so young and scared. You told me it was the only way. Now the whole world knows." Her crying echoed through the arena. The once perfect Trump family was falling apart live on national television, every raw emotion captured by the cameras. Security stood frozen, unsure what to do. The audience was on its feet, some clapping, some yelling, but everyone completely stunned. Obama stayed calm in the middle of the chaos, but his eyes showed he wasn't finished yet. He raised his hand and the big screen lit up again. "One more piece of evidence," he said quietly. An old audio recording began to play. The voice was unmistakable. Michael Cohen, Trump's longtime lawyer, speaking on a phone call years ago. "Donald's orders are clear," Cohen said. "Delete every record of Ivanka's birth. Burn the files, wipe the computers, make sure nothing connects Barron to her. If this leaks, the Trump name is finished." The arena went dead quiet as the words echoed. Trump's face turned bright red, then pale. He shook his head violently, but the recording kept playing. His own voice in the background saying, "Do it fast. No traces." The crowd erupted in shouts and gasps. People couldn't believe what they were hearing. This wasn't rumor anymore. It was Trump's own team covering up the truth in cold blood. Suddenly, the side doors burst open. Ivanka Trump rushed onto the stage, still wearing a coat from the private jet that had just landed. Her hair was messy, eyes swollen from crying. She ran straight to Barron and threw her arms around him, hugging him tight like she had waited 20 years to do it in public. The entire arena lost their minds, screaming, cheering, some crying. Ivanka pulled back just enough to look at Trump, her voice breaking with years of pain. "You are the biological father and the grandfather of your own grandchild," she screamed. "You made me hide my own son. How could you do this to your own blood?" Trump staggered backward like someone had punched him in the chest. His legs gave out completely and he collapsed onto the stage floor, sitting there speechless, mouth open but no words coming out. The powerful man who once commanded every room was now silent and broken in front of millions. Melania stood a few feet away, tears running down her face. She didn't try to hide them anymore. Trump tried to push himself up, breathing hard. He pointed a shaking finger straight at Obama. "You orchestrated all of this," he shouted, voice hoarse and desperate. "This is a setup, a witch hunt. You paid these people to lie." His face was twisted with rage and fear. Obama didn't shout back. He simply smiled a small, calm smile and nodded toward the back of the stage. "One last witness, Donald," he said. An older man in a simple black suit walked out, the family's longtime driver, Richard Morales. He had worked for the Trumps for over 15 years. Richard looked nervous but spoke clearly into the microphone. "I drove Ivanka to the secret clinic that night in March 2006, he said. "She was in labor. I waited outside for hours. Then I drove Melania around for weeks wearing fake pregnancy pads so the staff and press would believe she was the one expecting. Mr. Trump paid me extra to keep quiet. I've carried this guilt for 20 years. The final bomb dropped. The arena exploded in noise so loud the walls seemed to shake. Trump just sat there on the floor, staring at the ground, completely defeated. The stage now held the entire broken family under the bright lights. Trump stayed silent, still on his knees, head down. Melania cried quietly beside him, years of pretending finally over. Ivanka held Barron tightly, both of them standing strong together for the first time. The cameras captured every raw second. Obama looked at the family one last time, then stepped down from the stage without saying another word. He simply walked away, letting the silence and the truth speak for themselves. 24 hours later, the world was still glued to their screens. Donald Trump went live from a small room in Trump Tower, sitting alone at a desk with no makeup, no crowd, and no prepared notes. His hair was messy, his tie loose. He tried to sound like the old Trump, pointing at the camera and saying, "This is all a hoax. Fake news. Obama set me up. Barron is my son with Melania. They forced that girl to say those things." But his voice kept shaking. He stumbled over his words, wiped sweat from his forehead, and looked smaller than ever. Millions watched as the man who once dominated every room now struggled to convince anyone. In the middle of his rant, the comments exploded with clips from the night before. His denial was falling apart in real time. Then Barron Trump dropped his own short video on social media. It was only 40 seconds long. He stood outside in simple clothes, looking straight into the camera with steady eyes. "I've lived with lies my whole life," he said. "Last night I chose the truth. Ivanka is my mother. I'm done hiding. I choose the truth." The video went viral in minutes. People shared it millions of times. For the first time, Barron looked free. The biggest blow came later that afternoon. Ivanka called an emergency press conference at a downtown hotel. She walked in without makeup, wearing a plain black dress, and stood alone at the podium. "For 20 years, my father forced me to stay silent," she said, her voice steady but emotional. She then released hundreds of old emails. The big screen showed them one by one. In email after email, Trump wrote things like, "Delete everything. Never speak about the baby. If this comes out, you lose your inheritance and your future." Another one read, "Melania will play the mother. You do what I say, or we're all finished." Ivanka looked into the cameras with tears in her eyes. "I was 24 and terrified. He told me it was the only way to protect the family name. Today I'm choosing to tell the truth, no matter what it cost me." The room was silent except for the clicking of cameras. Reporters sat stunned as the emails kept scrolling. The final proof of the cover-up was now public for the entire world to read. Later that evening, Barack Obama appeared in a short television interview from his home. He looked calm and composed, just like he had on stage the night before. The host asked him directly if he had destroyed the Trump family. Obama looked into the camera and gave one simple answer. "I didn't destroy his family. I just showed the world the truth he hid for 20 years. The Trump family was now completely broken in public. Barron stood side by side with Ivanka at her press conference, their arms around each other. For the first time, they looked like a real mother and son. Melania released a short statement and was seen leaving alone in a black SUV, heading to the airport with just one suitcase. No family, no security detail, no goodbye. Trump stayed locked inside Trump Tower, silent, with no more statements. The perfect illusion that had fooled the world for decades was finally gone. As the news coverage ended, the screen slowly faded to black with one simple white line appearing in the center. Reality always finds a way.